welcome everyone. Thank you for being here for another episode of Ed Energetics. Today I have a friend, John Mothershead, with me. John and I met back in 2022. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with me. When we met, you were just getting certified in angels and auras, so working with the angels and working with auras, and I was there just tipping my toe into the spiritual world back in 2022. Then we had an opportunity to hang out in 2023 when we went to Radley Valentine's event in Palm Springs, and I haven't seen you since then. So what have you been up to since 2023?
So much. First of all, it seems like yesterday we were in LA in that conference room during Angels and Auras. So it's shocking to know that I guess 3 years has passed.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. But it's funny, the last time I saw you when we were in Palm Springs during a spiritual mastermind, I don't know if you remember this, but the teacher called me out for hiding. And I was like really offended at the time. I was like, this is appalling. I can't believe they're saying that I'm hiding. But when I got home and I started reflecting on my notes and on the journey that we had gone through in that mastermind, I was like, you know what? That teacher's kind of right. Like previously, I thought I was doing everything right. Like I had clients booking services, I had growing social media platforms. Like I felt like everything was stable and going in the right direction.
Uh-huh.
But I realized that I was kind of hiding behind my work. Now, I'm an intuitive artist, so instead of reading like cards or reading like tea leaves or anything like that, I will make custom paintings and then interpret those paintings for the client. So I realized that I was hiding behind my art and not really like following through on major projects that I wanted to achieve. And actually, I've never told you this, but you absolutely inspired me because you published your tarot deck and you were like doing the circuit and public speaking, and you're just like really sharing your light and shining bright. And there was one morning where our friend Kevin Cross was using your deck in one of his YouTube videos, and I was like, you know what? Like, I have been hiding. I'm trying to like figure out where I can like challenge myself. And I have all of these projects that I've been procrastinating. So like if Edna can do it, then I'm going to take that as an invitation that I can do it too. So
Absolutely.
I in 2024 made it my mission that I would not procrastinate. I was going to just follow my inspiration, and any of those projects that I thought were imperfect or not good enough or I don't know, that anything that was being inhibited by that imposter syndrome, I decided to really tackle. So I did it. I published my Angel Party 365 planner, and actually in 2024 I sold about 700 copies of that. So I mean, it's not like the big time, but like I'm really proud of myself. I'm like, okay, I got
I can do this.
700 people to buy my book. That's awesome. I followed your lead and I published my tarot deck. So I'm really excited about that.
And
The
they're
the
and they're
deck
they're different because oh, there you go. They're round.
yeah,
Yes.
the deck features some of my intuitive art. So each of the tarot cards has some of my art on it. And yeah, all of those projects. Oh, I published my children's book, which was over sitting on the shelf for over a decade, just like collecting dust. So yeah, I you and others in that group really inspired me to take on that challenge. But heading into 2025, I realized that like through all of that work, I'm still not sharing my story or being vulnerable. So I'm kind of pivoting my Angel Party brand, and I'm adding like a branch called Color Your Spirit. And the
Okay.
whole theme behind Color Your Spirit is sharing my story, being vulnerable, um, and teaching others to embrace their authenticity through my vulnerability and authenticity. So
Beautiful.
that was very long-winded, but that is basically the last 3 years in a nutshell. And I'm very happy that our teacher, called me out for hiding, and for others like you who inspired me to actually step up alongside you and to share my gifts as well.
Thank you. Well, when I met you, well, when I met Tammy, we met in Palm Springs and she had already done her oracle cards. And I said, "Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to create some cards." So I got inspiration from Tammy and I'm glad you got inspiration from me. So it's like it's good to have friends, that
It's
inspire
that
each other.
ripple effect.
Yeah,
When we are sharing our light, it encourages others to do the same. And when we're vulnerable, it invites others to tell their story and to show up authentically. So yeah, it's totally this ripple effect, and it's amazing to to know that there are so many people that we're inspiring by just showing up that
yeah.
we never even know about. Like I've never told you that
No.
story. I'm gonna slap my hand because that's really major props to you for inspiring me to take it to level up.
I'm glad. I'm glad I was helpful. Which brings me back to my question since you're talking about sharing your story. Today's question is you're doing all these great, wonderful things, but w- what was it or when did you rediscover your gifts? Like when did it happen and how did it happen
Oh
to
my
get
gosh.
to where you
Well,
are now?
it's it's so interesting because I have always followed the little breadcrumbs and kind of just like my whole life has been this wild journey and ebbed and flowed, and I have trouble pinpointing one like specific moment where I had this like
Epiphany.
spiritual awakening. But I've always been spiritual. When I was a kid, I grew up Catholic,
Okay.
and I would sleep with my Bible and my rosary.
Oh,
And as like a little like 6 or 7 year old, I don't think I like understood the depth of anything, but I knew that there was like something spiritual about them that brought me comfort and that I wanted to be close to them. So that like seed of spirituality and like clinging to the depth of it and the longing for something more has always been there. So and those little breadcrumbs and synchronicities and signs from the angels and from the universe have always kind of been guiding me, and I always was just like, oh, I'm lucky. Like I never really like had a name for it. And I knew enough though that when I didn't follow the signs, shit would hit the fan, like literally. It If I was ignoring the signs and willfully going in the opposite direction, I would slam into a wall, or like chaos would ensue. Those tower card moments, for anyone who's in tarot, those would like force me back in the direction of where the signs were pointing me. And actually, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was a musical theater actor, and my voice teacher at the time was like, why are you like swimming upstream? You're swimming against the current. You just need to like go with the flow and allow the flow of the universe to support you and uplift you, and you can go further if you don't resist and you allow. And she introduced me to Abraham Hicks, and that was kind of like my gateway drug to then like just seeking out so much more. I started going to Buddhist meditation class in New York City. I joined a Course in Miracles book group. I bought my first tarot deck kind of as a joke. Um, I started studying with a shaman. Elka Bourne is her name, and she's actually the one that certified me in the angel art readings and taught me all about that. So I just kind of like started really living my life with a curious spirit, reading a lot of books, and anytime a friend would invite me to like a spiritual class or a group, I was like, yes, I want to learn, I want to absorb more. And then I discovered The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. I don't know if you remember that book,
No, I
but
haven't heard that one.
it's by the author of The Secret, and it's a book about gratitude. And
Okay.
every day you have a different gratitude practice, and it really unlocked this, well, it's called the magic. So it unlocked that magic and of synchronicities, that when you're living your life with a grateful spirit, that you're really like opening a whole pathway to the universe. And that, I think, is when I first realized that, like, oh, like we can manifest our outcome. We control our path. And I didn't want to really fall back into the habit of being too controlling or going against the current, as my voice teacher would say. But I wanted to live my life um in from a place of alignment and abundance, and that book taught me to do so. So that kind of pushed us forward to the pandemic. Chaos was ensuing around the world, and that's when I truly started really studying with Radley Valentine, Mooney Said, and Dougal Fraser. So those are the three mentors that I think really changed my life. Um, they would call on me in classes when I did not have my hand raised. They were just pushing me out of their comfort zone, or out of my comfort zone. In Angels and Auras in LA, I don't know if you remember this, but they made me go up on the stage, and I was like, no, I don't want to go on the stage.
Yes.
So, but at each of those points where they shoved me into the spotlight and shoved me out of my comfort zone, I did it. It was highly uncomfortable for me, but I said yes and I embraced it. And then I realized, like, oh, I don't have to be afraid of this. Like, I can, yeah, like I can accept an invitation from you, for example, to show up on your podcast, and it's all going to be okay because Spirit's got my back. The
Mm.
angels have my back. The universe has my back. And frankly, if I mess up or if I get tongue tied, that just makes me more relatable.
Yes.
So that is my like spiritual journey in a nutshell, from like beginning to end. And like I said, I just keep showing up. I keep saying yes, and I keep an open mind and an open spirit to continue to grow and learn.
Wow. Okay. So I was looking at your website and it says you are a Reiki master.
Yes, I am a Reiki master.
So that means that you also channel energy as well, not only artistically, but physically you channel energy.
Yeah, so it must have been like a decade ago, in 2020, or no, 2013 or maybe 2014. Like I said, I was curious. I wanted to learn, and for my birthday, I gifted myself Reiki classes.
All
And
right.
it really changed my life. I at the time really only intended to practice on myself. It was something that I had paid a lot of money for Reiki as a client, and I was like, oh, I can save some money if I just do it on myself.
Yes.
Um, but but then when I actually started working with the shaman Elka Bourne, like I mentioned, the same one that taught me the intuitive art, she did archangel healing. And that's where I feel like the magic really clicked, because I was good at Reiki and I always felt connected to it. But when I started integrating the angels in the work, that's where the clients really started seeing, or started experiencing kind of like a next level healing. And to this day, I call it Reiki so that it's like easy to understand for the consumer, but I do mix in that archangel healing that I learned from Elka, and kind of combine the two in my own way, so that the angels are or the clients are really experiencing the healing magic of the angels.
Okay, so then you do work with the angels then, because I have a hard time when I go to shows to explain to people what I do because I also channel angel energy through me, and I have to tell them, yeah, it's kind of similar to Reiki, but a little bit different. So,
Yeah, I feel like from like the consumer level, they're just getting energy work.
yeah,
And I but yeah, it's hard to describe, but I think like with all of our spiritual tools, so many spiritual practitioners like us, we have learned different skills from different teachers along the way, and our tool belts are full.
yeah,
And I think it would be doing our customers a disservice if we said, "Oh no, you're ordering Reiki, so I'm just offering this little sliver," when I can actually go in and I can use the things that I've learned from Elka, and I can use my channeled energy and messages from the angels, and I can use color that I learned from Dougal, and I can give you the full shebang of everything that I've learned over the past like 20 years, and that's gonna benefit the client even more.
yeah, and that makes each one of us, special and different and unique because each one brings in our own experiences, and we blend them like art and like paint. We blend them and mesh them to create an artwork that is unique to us and is healing for the person in front of us.
I totally agree. And everyone's so different that like people are going to be drawn to your style of healing and the energy that you provide, and people are going to be drawn to me, and I so many people think the market's too saturated, or oh, we're all competing against each other, and I'm like, no, there's room for all of us. Like we're all going to attract different clients, and that's what's beautiful about all of our gifts.
Yeah, and because I mean, we all resonate from a frequency standpoint. So some people will be attracted to our light, some people will be attracted to your light, and they'll be attracted to others' light. So it just depends, who's being attracted by your light. So yes, please shine brightly. So my question to you is, when you are working with a client and or with someone and you're doing your artwork or you're channeling energy, uh, do you get download messages? Like, do you hear it? Do you see it? Which ones are your clairs? Which ones have your clairs that have developed?
So it's it's this in definitely a knowing.
Okay.
Like there's
Yes.
definitely a visual aspect to it, and very occasionally an auditory aspect to it, but it's yeah, like I'll get sign I'll just like know
You
that
don't know things. Yeah.
the signs are there. So I'll all of a sudden have the image of an attic that like, oh, like I what happened in the attic, or oh, why am I like seeing a cow? But I'm not really seeing them per se. It is just a knowing, like, and and over the years, what I think is so interesting is when we develop a language for
Hmm.
those kind of like signs or symbols. Do you remember Jennifer Homan?
Yes.
It was she had the gift of like smelling, and she had different things that like I remember like her like musty attic smell was like uh um I forget what that was like a sign for, but it was something really positive. And like for me, when I see a big wheel, or when I think of a big wheel, it means like freedom and spirit and like a childlike energy, and that we're meant to connect with that spirit. So it's fun to develop that skill. I would say 10 years ago I never would have considered myself a psychic or an intuitive. I was very resistant until relatively recently. um but it's amazing how through studying and then surrounding yourself with other talented intuitives, you you really do start to like see the the consistencies and patterns in people's readings and in the symbols as they arise. For example, when the color like neon or electric green comes up, it often means to me that someone's been hiding or suppressing something and that they need to step out, be vulnerable and be seen and share their story. And that is like consistent through hundreds of clients. I can confidently say
And now when you're doing your art, because I've seen you and you've done them for me, your art and you're adding the colors, so each color then represents a different meaning and a different, okay.
yeah. So often, black is like something so dark or there's some trauma that's been unvisited. Rose is an invitation to practice self-care. So yeah, each color and then their placement or their shape within the painting means something different. And I can often tell the story between the colors on the page and then the complementary signs that are just coming through the channel. I'm able to like connect the dots and figure out what um the past, present, and future is in that certain area. So maybe there's like some black at the bottom of the painting, and that's going to represent the trauma that they're leaving behind. And the center of the painting might be a rose color, which is an invitation for Jophiel to really nurture their spirit and be kind. And then the top of the painting, which represents the future, where they're heading, might be maybe a light blue color, which is my color for balance or justice, meaning that they don't want to repeat those same mistakes and that they want to set boundaries and be mindful of their limits. So yeah, each color has a meaning. It's connected to a different angel, and depending on the placement and any of the other like signs that pop into my head through the channeling, I'm able to offer a lot of clarity. Now I give prescriptive readings. I don't do predictive readings. So
Mhm.
I will often guide the client in the right direction, but I'm not going to predict like, oh, on this date, something's going to happen
Right.
to you, or I I am very cautious to empower them to take my messages of encouragement and to kind of prescribe them a path forward.
Yeah. And my other question is like, when you are choosing the colors, because you have a blank paper in front of you, when you start choosing the colors, is like, is it just an intuitive sense of what colors you should pick up? Or is it like, or are you just getting like a download, put this color, put this color? Because I mean, I've seen you do it and I'm like, I'm just wondering what's going on up there. It's like,
Yeah,
she's doing
I
it.
hopefully nothing is going on up here.
Exactly. Like,
I
so you
try
just,
my hardest to get out of my own way and
uh-huh.
to avoid controlling the situation. So I try my best to just blindly pick colors. If I
Okay.
find my ego kind of slipping in and being like, oh, yellow would be pretty, I'll like recenter, I'll take a breath and yeah, my goal is to go into neutral and to allow it to flow naturally. I don't want to control it at all.
So
I
basically
want,
you're,
I want the angels to take the wheel, and I just want to be that channel.
okay, so basically you're just letting go and trusting the angels to do the work. Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, that makes sense. All right, so if anybody is interested in getting one of your beautiful artworks individualized for themselves, where can they contact you or how do they get a hold of you?
Sure. So johnmothershead.com is my website. Johnmothershead, just like it sounds.com. And yeah, every month I do angel parties where I do live intuitive art readings, and they're a ton of fun. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you actually get your first party for free. So there are no strings attached. you can get a free reading that way, and it's a super supportive group, and yeah, it's my favorite night of the month. It's usually on a Saturday night, and it's a great group. I collaborate each month with different professional intuitives, so you get a great mix of different talented people, and yeah, they're a lot of fun. And then if you like it, you can come back for more. You can sign up for a private reading. There's a lot to offer. And my Color Your Spirit book proposal is being sent to Hay House next month. So when that comes out inevitably, there will be one chapter per color, and it's going to be a pretty awesome book about embracing your authenticity.
Wow, it's amazing. And if they want to order your deck of cards, they're on your website as well.
Oh yeah, so my cards are on johnmothershead.com. I also sell them on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay. And your what is it, 360 books?
Yeah, the planners are available on johnmothershead.com, Instagram, TikTok, and also Amazon for the
Okay.
for the planners.
All right. So John Mothershead, that's your website. Anything where you look, what's your Instagram tag?
My Instagram is the one I haven't switched that over yet. So my Instagram is JJFM. JJFM, it's actually my initials, and you will find me there. Everything else I think is John Mother said you can find me.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to stop by and share what you've been up to and your story with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
Thank you. Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to pop back in and let you know that I am offering healing sessions, and let me show you how you can connect with me. Okay, so this is my tap link at Edna Energetics. You can send me an email by just clicking at the top, or you can book a session on my website by clicking on the book a session, healing session. Or I do offer some angel healing courses, and I do have a shop where I sell my cards. So if you're interested in buying a deck of affirmation cards, a deck of archangel cards, a deck of angel numerology cards, those are all available on my shop, so you're welcome to go there. My essential oil site is also available. I have workbooks for those of you who are interested in coloring. They're coloring workbooks or want to learn about the archangels. I have those available as well. And other things in there that you might be interested in. But if you are looking for a healing session for yourself or a loved one, please go ahead and either contact me, send me an email, or book a session online. Okay? All right. Thank you and have a wonderful day.